Hello! Hi! It's been a minute. I may not have taken down my Halloween decorations in Animal Crossing, but I have been busy. So we're gonna do a bit of a speed build today where I'm clearing out the back of the island and working on this giant build. I was gonna say this is the first build on Snoozle, but technically it's the first permanent build on Snoozle. But anyway, I've had this idea in my head for a long time. I think it's probably gonna be the biggest build, and it was the one that was the loudest in my brain, so I don't think I could work on anything else until I did this. I think it looks good. I hope. I wanted to use the different balloon items and try to make kind of like a sky illusion type of setup where it looks like my house is floating up in the sky being held up by balloons. Literally just the house from up. I didn't do anything aesthetically, I guess, to the house to make it closer to the one from the movie. I hope this works out okay. To be honest, I haven't seen the movie, at least not in its entirety. And of course, the only clip from Up I have seen is just the heartbreaking one at the very beginning. I saw that scene for the first time in high school. My public speaking teacher had a unit on, various types of communication and used different media to show examples of different forms of communication. And of course, for nonverbal communication and being able to tell a story without words, she showed us the scene from Up literally first thing in the morning in this class. It's like, do you really hate us that much? This is the first thing you're showing us in the morning? I mean, it is obviously a good scene, but no sad vibes allowed on Snoozle. This is gonna be just cutesy little balloon houses up in the sky. So the goal is just to get everything flattened. No cliffs, no trees, no nothing, just... aw yeah. The Plaza Balloon Wagon really carries the balloon vibes for the house. Just the shape of the cart was really cool, the shape of the different balloons. I feel like it looks really nice and adds some fun dimension. And then when else am I gonna use the 2021 or 2022 balloon arches? I figured at least I would throw one in there. It's nice that it doesn't take up as much space as the balloon wagons. I keep going back and forth between using just a plain blue simple panel and the cutout cloud design. What is it just called a head cutout? Or is it just a cutout? I don't know, the custom design where it's like a simple panel but you have a hole for your head to sit in. I feel like the simple panel would have been the better option if I could have blue edges on the simple panel, or if simple panels in general just didn't have edges. That would be so much nicer, because it does look really good when it's just the blue across, because I feel like the shade of blue in the custom design is actually really nice and matches pretty well, but I just hate the edges that it creates. I also just gave up and used the cloud curtain right above the house, because I figured that was fine, I made a vantage point to try to get a better idea for how this was looking, and I think it helped. I wanted to use the different heights in the cliffs to create the illusion that this was up in the air, but I needed 2 layers of cliffs to get the desired height in the balloons that I wanted. So I wasn't sure how to combat that really, so I figured if I have some cliff as well, and that's where I'm looking from, it's as if I'm even higher in the sky, looking down into the sky. I don't know if that really worked, but it was the best workaround I could think of at the time to get the illusion I wanted while still having the desired height from the cliffs. I swear my villagers have a 6th sense for when they need to come disrupt me. Like, I never see Keaton ever out and about when I'm playing. And now that I'm doing this giant build, he decides he just needs to serenade the ocean. I mean, live your best life, I guess, but man, why do you have to do it now? I struggle so much with these cloud custom designs, it's ridiculous. I like the way the little cloud standee cutout, like the blue sky with the cloud standees look. I just wish that they didn't have that cutout option, because I feel like that really messes up the sky illusion by having that hole in there that shows the cliff. So I'm trying to cover it up in different ways, like the glowing moss balloons I think do a decent job of covering up that hole. I tried using the dormant volcanoes acting like mountainsides and stuff. It kinda gets the job done. I do figure things out a little bit later, but for right now I'm just kinda struggling. I didn't want my house to be all by itself, so I gave it some friends. They're all going on a little adventure. I don't know where they're going, but I hope they're having fun. I also didn't realize that you could put custom designs underneath the ground where the mailbox is. I just kind of always assumed it was a spot that wouldn't work. I wish I could put the custom designs fully around the house so I wouldn't have those gaps where the grass shows, but it's whatever. You just kind of have to pretend you don't see it, I guess. I was hoping I could just hide the cutouts by stacking them together since they don't have a definitive edge, but the simple panels in the cutouts both have a slight shine to them, which makes it even more difficult to try to camouflage them. This is just a lot of putting something down, running up here to check it, figuring out if I like it or not, and then repeating. I am really happy though with the color matching of the custom design to the actual sky. It doesn't look quite accurate right now, but I have been playing since I recorded this and it was a pretty good match at certain times of the day. I just need to remember what times of day those are when I set the dream address. I'm also not going to have the dream address set in fall either. The yellow grass and dead leaves aren't really the vibe. I'm probably going to set the dream address in summer, maybe? Whenever the plumeria bushes are in bloom, which I think is August? I know I set Morio around the same time as well, but it's fine. It's a nice time of year. I want to keep using it. So as I was dealing with the whole cliff thing, I decided to give other options a try. I knew I wouldn't be able to get as much height, but I wanted to experiment with other options for the little dollhouses other than using the cliffs. So I tried a couple of different options with the vintage stool item and then covering up the stool with a hedge standee to make it look like a cloud. And I think that that is the winning combo here. The vintage stool was the only one that I had, at least in my inventory, that had a thin enough profile where even if you can see it, if you're looking at it from a certain angle, it doesn't really have much of a presence. At least it's not super noticeable when I look at it. And it blending in with the clouds I think helped. And although it's not as tall as the cliffs, it does provide height, but the cliffs are really annoying, so I think this is the winner in the end. I really regret keeping that house as blue. I kept debating going back to Reese and Cyrus to get it changed, but I just couldn't be bothered and I just never fixed it. Maybe I'll go back and fix it at some point, I'm really not sure. Yeah, as you can see here, I give up. I give up on using the cliffs. It's not worth it. The vintage stools do the job, I can cover them up way more easily, and I just didn't care at that point. Ah, it's so cute! I need a lot of cliff space to get the tiers that I want, so I was having issues with the outermost cliffs still being pretty visible, even with my attempts at covering them up. So I thought they might be easier to hide if I push them back a little bit, because as things get further and further away in the game, they kind of get a bit more blurry. I took what I could and pushed it back a little bit. I only was able to move it back one tile, but I think it helped at least a little bit. Now I struggle so much. If you thought I was struggling before, I am struggling way more now. I cut out so much of the custom design work on this because it was just so much trial and error. I couldn't figure it out. Buck was driving me crazy too, so I spent at least 20 minutes just trying to push him away. After I finished fighting him, I just gave up and started recording with custom designs on my own. The next day I move over to the left side. Mira is interrupting me, but it's okay because she's teaching me how to apologize. Insert Colleen Ballinger joke here. I don't know. In an attempt to try to fade out the blue sky instead of just having it be a harsh edge, I thought it would be good to utilize the transparent background clouds with the blue background clouds to try to like fade it out. I struggled a lot on the left side. I eventually just stopped recording and was just doing it on my own, just sitting on my couch. I eventually got there, and when I started recording the next day, the right side was significantly easier, so that's kind of annoying. And to further camouflage the sky, I just took a bunch of trees and started throwing them around the perimeter, hopefully kind of making it seem like it's the sky peeking out from the trees. I don't know exactly if this works anymore, but it's what I did, and I'm still working on it behind the scenes. I'm still messing around with the custom designs and trees and stuff on my own, and I probably will be for a long time, but I think they do a pretty good job of blending things in a bit more, and I needed to step away from this anyway, just because I was getting burnt out of trying to work on all of this in one go, and also I ran out of trees. Well, I ran out of little trees at least. I just threw a bunch of the big trees on the right side, and that's fine, right? After all of my struggling, trial and error, and still not feeling super satisfied with this build, we're at the end. This is done. At least I'm calling it done. It has a lot of cool potential. There's a lot of stuff in here that I like. There's a lot of stuff in here I'm probably gonna keep changing, but that's totally okay. At the very least, I have this build done, and I can start working on other things. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you have suggestions for future builds, feel free to give me those as well. I am sorry it took me so long to get this video up. As you can kind of guess, this took a bit to record and edit and all of that. Hopefully I'll be able to get a video out sooner. I feel like I say that every time, but it's fine. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!